Let's continue now with the founder of the Eagle Forum, Phyllis Schlafly. Phyllis is also the author of the book, Who Killed the American Family? And she joins us via Skype from St. Louis. Phyllis, it's so good to have you back on Newsmax Prime. And I want to get your take on a story about a leaked memo suggesting the president is planning to circumvent that federal judge's injunction against issuing work permits to illegals. What do you think of that, Phyllis?
Oh, well, I don't think we ought to be admitting all of these illegals. And if they are illegals, they ought to be turned around and sent back to where they came from. And I think America is going to have to realize that some people are trying to change the whole nature of our country. I don't think anybody ought to be let into the country unless he wants to be an American. And I don't think these people do.
I want to get your reaction, Phyllis, to what Governor Huckabee says. He basically calls it judicial tyranny. Do you agree with his remarks?
Yes, the Constitution gives the president certain powers in Article 1, and he ought to stick to those powers. He shouldn't grab others. And I think Obama has done all kinds of things that are unconstitutional. He ought to be admonished for that. Probably ought to be impeached, but that's such a tortuous path to travel, and nobody seems to want to take that on. But we hope we'll have a change in the next election.
Well, speaking of elections, a lot of polls out there. There is a new poll from Reuters saying that Republicans trust Donald Trump to do the job as president. Republicans at 59% trust Trump with the economy. They would trust him in the position of president and also trust him in dealing with foreign leaders. You've been on this program before and you've had a kind word for Mr. Trump. You've stopped short of endorsing him. But what is your assessment of Trump? Is he the best option among the current candidates?
Well, it looks like he's the best one that the grassroots want. They want somebody who's a take-charge person. Somebody asked Walker recently what was Reagan's most important decision. And he answered it was the decision to fire the air traffic controllers. And George Schmidt confirmed that because that's what showed what kind of a man he was. And we think that Trump is able to be a take-charge person, and that's what we need.
Phyllis, with the minute we have left, we need to get your take on the U.S. Department of Education telling a Chicago school district that it violated the rights of a transgender student for not allowing that student unrestricted use of the girls' locker room, including the showers. Your reaction to that report?
They're trying to turn our boys into peeping Toms. I can't imagine why else they would want to go into their girls' restrooms. But I think most people think it's ridiculous. And I'm glad that Palatine Township is trying to fight it. Although the word used is sex, and sex is a word that has a lot of meanings, and they want to use it for this.
Phyllis Schlafly, as always, we appreciate your time and your assessment. Up next, the Obama administration's failure to call ISIS targeting Christians what it is, genocide. Oliver North joins us coming up.